Get in, nerds. We are explaining Hearts of Iron 4. I just want to get a kind of a grab bag episode of kind of miscellaneous features that I don't think are really big enough to have an entire explainer devoted to them. So we're just going to kind of jump in. This is the international market here. There's a lot you can do. You can set to show existing contracts here, or you can look at what countries you have market access to. You've got some default options like auto accepting purchase requests or auto send negotiating market access requests. So here you can look at what countries you have in your market, and those are the countries you can buy from, and they're what are going to show up in the buy and sell interfaces. So if you click buy, you're going to see everything that's for sale on the international market. So it looks like Fascist Britain is selling a bunch of trains that they captured from Ireland, so I could buy those when they took over Ireland over here. Oh, actually, oh, yeah, that's right. They took over Ireland, but they didn't take over all of Ireland, which is hilarious. Not like fun hilarious, but it's hilarious that they failed to actually take the country over. That's all I'm saying. You get the battle. So you can buy any of these. You go ahead and click one of these. Say I want to buy some convoys from Sweden. It's going to show how many I've got here and how many are for sale. So for this, actually, if I cancel that out, let's go back there. So I've got 517 convoys in the pot. They've got 22 convoys for sale, and I can buy up to 22 of them. You can organize how many deliveries you want down here. You're going to pay a certain amount of average construction for them. So if I put them in 11 deliveries, I'll pay 2 civilian factories for each delivery. If I put them in 21 deliveries, I'll pay 1 for each. And I can vary it up over here. And that'll change their likelihood of accepting. Some countries will not sell to you, particularly if they think you'll end up fighting them using the arms that they sell you later. But the AI is not great about figuring out when that's going to happen. So, like, if, for example, I said, hey, Great Britain, I would love these. Yeah, here we go. Trade influence, British opinion. Those are the factors here. And if I can offer them a better deal, but that's not going to affect things all that much. On the other hand, if I go to Sweden and get some 1936 small arms here, I can ask for them in 2 deliveries, and their likelihood is very high because they have a bunch of different diplomatic factors that increase that. So that's pretty cool. I can also go to the sell equipment marketplace and add equipment that I've got to the marketplace. So for example, if I have some really old small arms that I'm not going to need, like say these, I can hit this button, this puts everything on the market, and I can click add, and then anyone who wants can purchase them, and other countries could do that. And the cost of this is in construction. You're going to donate use of your civilian factories to these countries in exchange for equipment, or they're going to donate use of their civilian factories to you in exchange for your equipment. So you can really get a lot of flexibility with that, in particular if you need to develop a large army fast and don't have as much acceleration that you need to worry about. It's often beneficial to you to purchase arms from abroad. Particularly from countries you expect will be your allies, or potentially countries that might fall to you easily in a war if you're planning on attacking them. Not that I would do anything so underhanded as that, but you know how it goes. So that's the international market, pretty straightforward there. How much time we got? That's only been a couple of minutes. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about intelligence agencies. You've got a... If I didn't have an intelligence agency, I would have a form intelligence agency button over here. But since I do, I've got these branch upgrades. So this button lets you become the spy master. If you're in a faction, only one person can be the spy master. It costs 50 political power. And you're going to get 1 extra spy for every 2 countries that are independent in the faction. This includes dominions, but not puppets and lower. You also have a series of upgrades, and building a spy agency costs, I think, 7 civilian factories over 60 days. Doing one of these upgrades is going to also cost civilian factories over time, but these allow us to upgrade the various functions of the spy agency. So, if we form you can form departments across the top here: civilian, army, navy, and air force. This expanded departments adds extra operative slots and recruitment choices. This is only available in Road to 56, or at least it's from 56. So I'm not going to talk about that because that's not real. Counterintelligence, you've got your basic defense option here. Interrogation techniques gives you a higher ability to interrogate enemy spies that you've captured when they've tried to do operations in your country. Anti-partisan is for suppressing resistance in occupied territories. You got a bunch of other upgrades here that affect various things. The ones I want to draw your attention to are invisible ink makes blueprint stealing more effective. Portable radios increases effectiveness of coordinated strikes, which is where you use spies to enhance strategic bombing. Blueprint stealing is another blueprint stealing one, obviously. Plastic explosives lets you increases your ability to sabotage industry and states using your spies. Suicide pills makes it more likely that your operatives will die instead of getting captured. Commando training gives a bunch of bonuses. It makes operatives more likely to have commando training. Commando training gives a bunch of bonuses in terms of like escapes and stuff. Localized training centers lets you recruit agents from anywhere. You've opened a localized recruitment center, which you can do in any country that's, I think, in your sphere, basically. Diplomatic training, psychological warfare, and linguistics training all give bonuses to... Well, linguistics training, I think, is specific to the mod that I'm using. But diplomatic training and psychological warfare give bonuses to the different diplomatic missions, which we'll discuss a little bit more when we talk about diplomacy. And then finally, down here is cryptology. Just to be specific about that, diplomatic training gives 25% to control trade and diplomatic pressure missions. Psychological warfare gives 25% to propaganda and boost ideology missions. I think the 50% there is from the mod, and the Prepare Collaboration Government cost reduction is not there in the base game. Again, most of these upgrades take 5 to 10 civilian factories over the course of 30 days. If you get your advisor who makes those things easier, the Elusive Gentleman ability, you get a reduced agency upgrade time, and that saves you some construction overall. Back to the intelligence agency upgrade system. Down here we have cryptology. Once you've got cryptology researched, once you've got the cryptology department formed, you can start decrypting enemy signals. I'm currently decrypting the signals of the Japanese shogunate. Once you've decrypted enemy signals, you get a small passive buff against that country when you're engaging them. Or you can use the reveal intel button to give you this just massive slate of bonuses against them. And what that represents is kind of actively using your intel in a way that will reveal to them that you've got their cipher cracked. They'll replace their cipher after 30 days, and that'll, I think, set you back to the middle of the decryption bar. Radio interception and machine-assisted decryption are ones that increase your ability to decrypt enemy countries' signals faster. Government cipher school and machine-assisted encryption make it harder for other countries to crack your cipher. Using this system, you can crack as many countries' ciphers as you want at the same time, but your effort will be divided evenly between them if you've got multiple running. So if I add, for example, to my decryption, if I add, say, the French Republic, you notice that my decryption of the Japanese shogunate's cipher is much slower now. It's half the time. If I pause the Japanese shogunate, that drops French Republic to 400 days. If I pause the French Republic, then the Japanese shogunate is back to its original number. Throw away that because I don't need it. Yeah. Once you get spies, you're going to get those down here, and you can they'll default to just being defending your zone, but you can set them to various missions, including building intel networks. This is the primary thing they do, which provides all sorts of passive bonuses. So if I assign this agent to building an intel network here, they'll slowly develop an intel network, and that'll unlock operations in Germany. Other default options are rooting out resistance in occupied territories, controlling trade with a friendly country, which increases trade opinion, or placing diplomatic pressure on another country, which reduces world tension requirements for certain diplomatic actions. So, for example, if I sent this other guy to diplomatically pressure France, that would reduce the amount of world tension they need to accept us into their faction. So that's what that does. And control trade increases trade opinion. We'll talk about trade in another video. So that's the international market and spy agencies. We've actually been going really fast here. Let's talk about... I haven't really covered everything about spy agencies because there's a bunch of different missions, and I haven't loaded a save where I've got a fully developed spy agency with an ability to do missions in various countries. But you can do things like blow stuff up, coordinate strategic bombing, increase the efficiency of resistance in occupied territories, which is really nice. You can set up a collaboration government in that country, which will increase the base level of compliance if and when you take over the country. That's really, really strong. You can steal blueprints, which lets you grab technologies they've got and you don't, which is very helpful if you're a country that's a little bit behind technologically. Although paradoxically, if you're a country that's behind technologically, you might have a hard time actually setting up a spy agency. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but it's generally the case. So that functionality I don't get a lot of use out of. I might in a later run if I end up going that way. Anyway, so there are a bunch of different things you can do with spies. Most of them, if they're not in the base missions here, they're going to require you to build an intel network. Finally, boost ideology and propaganda are things you can do in a country to mess with them. Propaganda reduces their war support and stability, whereas boost ideology increases the strength of your ideology in their country. Once you've built an intel network, you can set a spy to maintaining a quiet intel network, and that will make the intel network keep strong and make it harder for the enemy to destroy it, but it won't provide as much intelligence. All right, and that's spy agencies for now. Let's talk about... I think we're going to talk about Officer Corps. So, this is our Officer Corps setup. Got our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Special Forces commands here. You'll notice we got a few different slots for abilities, and this is going to be our doctrine here. Here's how these are going to work. You've got, for each one, for the Army and the Navy, you've got the Spirit of the Academy over here, the Spirit of the Divisional of the Army or Navy here, and Spirit of Divisional Command here. Spirit of the Academy has a bunch of options, and by the way, a few of these options are dependent on your doctrine. So, for example, I'm running mobile warfare right now, so I've got a doctrine called Embrace the Future as my special one. A lot of the rest of these are general ones. So, Bold Attack, which is 50% extra chance of bonus attack when leveling up for officers. Tenacious Defense, which is the same for defense. Meticulous Preparation, which is the same for planning and logistics. And Best of the Best, which increases the starting level of new Army officers, but removes personality traits gained on hiring. All these are general. Any country can get them. I think Inventive Leadership... I guess Inventive Leadership is also a general one. And then Embrace the Future requires mobile warfare. I think it's not displaying these right because of the mod. Embrace the Future is for mobile warfare. I know that if you're going with if you've got different ideologies, you'll have different options here. So, for example, the Spirit of the Army, Relief of Command, is unique to democracies. If you're communist, you have one called ideological loyalty. If you're fascist, you have one called state serves military, and those both do different things. This one increases army experience gain cost and reduces army advisor cost, which is pretty neat. So in the same way that all the spirits of the academy are about improving your ability to hire better officers, the spirits of the army are a lot about getting you small passive bonuses and helping you spend experience more efficiently. Motorization drive, for example, negates all experience costs for adding tanks, motorized and mechanized to division templates, and also increases experience gained from combat for motorized and mechanized units. Accomplished heritage makes it cheaper to grant medals. Quick improvisation gives you a planning speed bonus, a daily command gain bonus, and reduces the cost of commander abilities. That's quite strong. Professional officer corps gives you additional command power gain, reduces the cost of land doctrine, and gives you a small army experience bonus. Elevated engineering corps makes railway gun bombardment better, increases entrenchment speed, and makes engineers free to add to units, as well as increasing engineer XP gain for the engineer trait. And then proper heritage gives you extra attack for cavalry, reduce supply penalties on core territory, and you can add cavalry to any units free of charge. By the way, the reduction to experience cost for adding units to division templates still, it doesn't apply to the kicker for diversifying templates. So if you've got a template that's 6 motorized battalions and you want to add 6 medium tank battalions, it'll still cost you 20 because you're still adding units from a new branch. But it won't cost all the extra stuff. And then finally over here under Spirit of Divisional Command, you've got a bunch of powerful abilities that will improve the performance of your units. My favorite is Flexible Organization, which increases speed and provides a reduction to organization loss when moving, which is really, really good. Aggressive Recon provides experience combat gains for reconnaissance units, as well as increasing reconnaissance and intelligence gain from combat. Victory or Death gives you a really significant reduction to organization loss when you're below 25% organization. It also boosts mass charge, which I don't love as an ability, as a tactic rather. I never select it. Reserve officers increases mobilization speed and reduces division training time. This is definitely selectively useful, but at 50 army experience, I wouldn't want to do it unless I was going to do it all the way. Finally, Maneuver Warfare gives 5% extra speed and coordination, and 100% increased chance of unexpected thrust, which is a very good tactic. Next, I'm going to go through the air ones. They're pretty straightforward. We got Spirit of the Air Force here and Spirit of Air Force Command over here. Spirit of the Air Force, pretty much none of these are unique to different ideologies, I don't think. Although they might be unique to specific doctrines. Sky Soldiers is only available in the mod that I'm using. So Independent Air Force reduces air advisor cost. I don't think that's great. Dive bombing increases CAS capabilities, reduced design costs, reduced research speed, increased research speed. That's very good. Effective training programs increases the air wing, the experience gain of air wings. Industry liaisons increases research speed. This one is very, very good. I often take this as my kind of default. Branch of Defense Spirit gives you some extra daily air experience gain and reduces Air Force intelligence to others. I think the daily gain is from the mod. I think it's only reducing Air Force intelligence to others in the base game. And then finally, Aircrew Surveys gives reduced doctrine cost and reduced accidents chance. I almost always take this. I think it's really good. I hate air accidents. Particularly when you've got a large Air Force, you're going to lose a certain amount of manpower and equipment to air accidents. I don't like that. I think that's very bad. This one, you've got another setup where you've got 5 general ones and then a couple that are available for... this one's available based on doctrine, and this one is from the mod. Battlefield air interdiction increases escort efficiency and ground attack factor. That one's generally okay. I don't tend to love ground attack factor, personally. Centralized control is just a blanket air mission efficiency. I think that fighter detection thing is from the mod. Centralized control is a good all-rounder. Veteran air instructors is reduced air wing experience loss when killed. So if you're taking losses in your air wings, you don't lose as much experience. I love not losing experience when my units take damage, because my units take a lot of damage, because I do a lot of fighting. Home defense is a bonus to fighting in the air over your own territory. Conversely, air power projection is a bonus to fighting in territory outside of your home territory. Basically, how far you are from your country is going to determine how effective your air force is, with a scaling reduction based on how far away you are. So, for example, playing as the United States, having air power projection is really, really good, because most of your battles are going to be, hopefully, fought very far away. Now, in this run, I haven't done that as much, as you can see, because I was forced to take over part of Mexico, but that's a whole other story. Finally, the last one I got here is from my doctrine. I'm on the ground support doctrine. Continuous strike gives a big bonus to mission efficiency for air support. You got other ones available for strategic destruction and operational integrity, which I haven't looked into that much because I never used them. Finally, let's take a look at the Navy ones. These are going to mirror the Army ones. So you got a Spirit of the Academy, a Spirit of the Navy, and a Spirit of Naval Command. Academy, you've got that same, it's basically the same ones as up here: bold attack, tenacious defense, meticulous prep. This one, you can get those same abilities. So extra attack, extra defense, extra maneuvering, and coordination. Integrated Air Arm increases your chance to get Fleet Protector and Air Controller. And new officers have a chance of starting with the Aviation Enthusiast skill. And then you have Best of the Best in Academy Scholarships. Academy Scholarships reduce the cost of new leaders while increasing the level by 1. No personality traits. Best of the Best increases new leaders by 2, but it doesn't reduce the cost. So either of these are pretty good if you're looking to expand the size of your Navy. I almost never am, so I never bring it up. Spirit of the Navy, we've got a couple, and these are focused on different functions. Naval refit yards is kind of an odd duck. It increases the speed of refitting and repair. This is selectively useful, but I wouldn't do it for a normal run. Integrated Designers reduces this research speed for ship modules. Because of the mod, it's still reducing research speed for all ships. That was a unique trait. That was a trait that got changed in the most recent DLC for the base game, but in the mod it's still here. It no longer is just a blanket 20% increased research speed. It was too powerful that way. Genical and Flexible Contracts both do the same, and Mobile Force both do the same thing for different things. Increased research speed and reduced design cost. Genical is for destroyers. It might include submarines as well. Flexible Contracts is for cruisers. Military organization cost minus 80%. I don't think that's in the base game. And then finally, Mobile Force is for aircraft carriers. And then finally, Naval Reform here just gives you a blanket increase to naval experience gain, which is pretty good for countries other than America that don't start with massive navies. All right, we've gone through a lot. We've talked about the international market, we've talked about spy agencies, and we've talked about the officer corps. These are all fairly new features from the perspective of the Hearts of Iron 4 development cycle. And now that you've seen those, you can have a better understanding of what I'm doing in those screens. I've had a good time here. I hope you have as well, and I will chat with y'all and see you on the other side.